Hi everyone, this is Skullshirtical TCG and welcome back to another battle video. I let's see. This past Saturday when I went to League I recorded 3 videos. One of them was with my Keldeo deck and I really wanted to get that one up first. But I promised this person who's in this video that I would post his battle video as soon as possible, so that's why you're seeing this one here. So today I'm going up against an older player who is playing a rather simple deck. He's actually playing some sort of a Samurott deck. Anyway, so I started out with my lone Darkrai, and I didn't draw my card after he mulliganed, because apparently it's a rule that you aren't supposed to draw your cards until your opponent finally does draw a basic. But, I decided, what, if I don't draw my cards now, I'm going to forget how many there are, because he just mulliganed twice, and the first time he actually had 7 water energy in his hand. And that is something that I don't think anyone ever really sees. So, he's just going to draw another 7 here, his third try. I'm not entirely sure who won the coin flip, and if who won decided they would go first or second. I guess we will see in a few seconds, hopefully. Did he get a basic here? No, that's his third one in a row without a basic. And here you see where if I had put it off, I would have needed to draw 3, and I probably at this point couldn't remember if it would be 2 or 3. I only know now because I'm actually saying. So, he's an older player. He isn't that good, but he's always very enthusiastic for the Pokemon trading card game. So, that's really what counts, I think. And I do feel bad that I keep getting great decks put up against smaller decks. But there's only like 2 or 3 people who ever show up at League with big decks on par with mine. And usually they're too busy on the side playing Magic the Gathering to come over and battle with me. And I do appreciate when Michael comes and battles, and I do have another battle video with him coming up soon. Because he's really experienced. He's been playing this far longer than I have. So, but for instances like this, I feel horrible for having good decks and going up against bad decks. And you'll see what my solution to that is in a few minutes for this particular video. I really do want to buy the Finnegan deck just so that I have a smaller deck to go up against some other people when I make these kinds of videos. And there are people who, even if they don't have good decks, and I don't have good decks, a lot of people, if they make videos like this, they would not post any of the videos, so if it's a bad deck against a bad deck. And I feel more like if someone wants to battle me just to have their stuff seen, then they should go right on ahead, because that's part of the fun of Pokemon, is just learning, and you can't really learn if people don't see how you strategize and stuff. Plus, having your battles put on YouTube is just fun. Well, it looks like after all that, he is going first. That'll help him out a little bit, because that's one card more that I don't have to draw. That would have put me up to like 11 cards in my hand at my first turn. So he attaches to Oshawott and ends his turn. Let's see. I don't know if I drew that Dark Energy, but I am going to play it. I attach Dark Energy to Darkrai and discard 2 Dark Energies with Ultra Ball. And I'm going to use the Ultra Ball to get another Darkrai into play. And I will Dark Patch onto that Darkrai. I'm not sure if I should have gone for Sableye here, because Samurott is not that good of a card. And he doesn't even play the, I think it's the Shell Armor, is what it's called, the one that reduces attacks by 20. He doesn't play that. He plays the Samurott from Boundaries Cross, the one in the theme deck, if you guys are interested in what it does. It's for 3 energy, for 2 energy, you can use Waterfall, it does 50 damage. For 4 energy, you can use the other attack, does 90 damage, and I think you discard an energy attached to Samurott. It's not that good of a card, but he loves Samurott, and he loves stage 2 Pokemon, so that's basically what that's all about. So it looks like I managed to get another Dark Patch to move an energy onto Darkrai from the discard pile, move that Darkrai up, energy switch, and that's a turn 1 Night Spear. And this is going to be a really quick game. So he promotes his Eevee, which has 30 damage on it, attaches a water energy, and uses Growl, which reduces attacks by 20. Not going to help him out at all. And that's the game. But here, I have an interesting idea. How would he like to battle me with us switching decks? He would be playing my Darkrai deck, and I would be playing his Samurott deck. And he says that sounds like a fun idea. So that's what we end up doing. Since this battle was so short and I felt really horrible for beating him so easily, I was like, let's give you the advantage and see how well you do against me. This would also give me a chance to get familiar with some of the smaller cards. And who knows, maybe some of these cards that are in his deck could be viable someday and I need to be familiar with them now. I mean, kind of a story that's been passed around from generation to generation. No, but seriously. You know, when Tropical Beach first came out, people thought it was crap. It's like, who would want to draw up to 7 cards in their hand and then end their turn? Who wants to do that? When you could attack or use a supporter to get stuff, and etc. Ideally, you want to be attacking first turn. Not so anymore, but you know, Tropical Beach was in the last format, and there were no drawbacks to going first. But then someone at Worlds saw the promo Tropical Beach and thought, ooh, I can make this work. So they put Tropical Beach into their decks. I think they may have borrowed from some friends or traded for the other ones. Regardless, he had enough beaches in his deck to not only make his deck good, but also get all the way into 2nd place at the World Championships. That surprised everyone because they thought Tropical Beach was a piece of crap. It was a stadium that no one really thought about playing. If it had been like Champions Festival, it probably would have been maybe $20. Thanks to that guy figuring out how to make it work and other people catching on, not just him, mind you, a lot of people thought about it, but he was the first one to really implement it. And since this was World Championships, he got the most recognition. I don't remember his name, unfortunately, but he made it work really, really well. And as a result, now Tropical Beach is a $200 card, and its price can only go up. So, my point in all that was, if he has cards in his deck that may be viable someday, I need to be familiar with them right now. But anyway, so it looks like I start out with Oshawott. He starts out with Darkrai as the active and Mr. Mime on the bench. And, okay, I think I get it. Here, I'm supposed to go first, and he thinks he can play stadiums before he can begin his turn. I tell him that's not how it works, and he just puts it back. So I attach Water Energy to Oshawott, attach a Giant Cape, and pass. I'm not sure why I didn't use an attack there, but oh well. So now he plays the Burbank City Gym. Since he knows his own deck, he knows that he doesn't run a stadium. So just playing it right now is a good idea. There's no chance of it ever getting out of play. And then he plays in, so we both shuffle our hands into our decks and draw cards equal number of our prize cards. In this case, we both get 6. Since this is the beginning of the game, neither of us has taken a prize. We both have 6 prize cards, and thus N gets us 6 cards. Off that N of 6, he got, looks like, an Energy Search. I think I see a Bicycle. He attaches a Darkness Energy to Darkrai, definitely something he wanted to see. And here I'm going to have to explain, he didn't understand how Bicycle works. I tried explaining it. It's not you draw 4 cards, it's you draw until you have 4 cards in your hand. And he seemed to get it, but then he just kept doing it, and I tried explaining it again, and he seemed to get it again, and then he just drew 4 cards anyway. So I decided to let it pass. You know, he's just so into this game, I don't really care. When it comes up later, I believe he does get it correct, but for now, I'm just gonna let it slide because what's the point in Pokemon if you're just going to be quoting rules all the time? And it's not like this is a high stakes match. I am qualified to be a judge. I am a Pokemon professor. I know how card rulings work and stuff like that. If I won, I could just say that was the wrong play, and I could tell him, you should end your turn now because that was wrong. But I don't. I'm just like, I'll let it slide, go on, keep going. And while I was talking, he played down a Sableye and a Keldeo, attached a Dark Claw to Darkrai, and he tries to attach a Darkness Energy to Sableye, and I say he already attached Darkrai this turn, so that's that. In fact, I was just rewatching the World Championship videos on Pokemon's YouTube channel earlier this week, and I saw top 16 match Jason Klasinski, probably quite honestly, accidentally attached 2 energies during his turn from hand. As the commentators pointed out, that was an honest mistake because he had been playing all day that day for like maybe 13 hours, and then he had been playing all day the day before, and he was just probably so exhausted he didn't remember that he had already attached once earlier that turn, and it was very early in his turn that he attached first energy, and very late that he attached the second. So it was an honest mistake, but that is definitely something that no one ever wants to repeat ever again. So I rare candied into Samurott, attached water energy, and used Waterfall for 50 on the Sableye. What he's going to do here is, looks like he used Confuse Ray and confused me, as well as putting 10 damage on. So I use Professor Oak. He does have a mixture of cards in this. Most of them are in format, but there are some that aren't, like Professor Oak. But I decided to make it work exactly like Professor Juniper, meaning I cannot play any other supporters for my turn, or the equivalent of supporters. So I play Professor Oak, discard my hand, draw another 6 cards. I drew an Oshawott, but I really need more basic energy than that. Or not basic energy, basic Pokemon. And I think I'm going to risk the confusion. Yeah, it looks like I go through, so I'm going to Waterfall for knockout. I could not have retreated because I didn't have enough energy, but if I wanted, I could have attached the energy to Samurott and then retreated into Oshawott. But I decided, you know what, it's probably just more worth it to risk the confusion. I don't know if this were a high stakes game, if I would have done that. Maybe I would have played it more safe, but then again, I wouldn't have been playing this deck anyway. So I knock out the Sableye and take the first prize of the game. He's going to promote Darkrai and Energy Search. And that's probably a good decision. I don't think I saw any Darkness Energy in his hand, so he wants to get one on the Darkrai as soon as possible so he can start doing Night Spear. And at this point, he doesn't really have any way of putting extra energy on Darkrai. He would need to leave that Darkrai on the bench and get 2 Dark Patches on to actually fully charge it up this turn. He doesn't have 2 Darkness Energies in the discard pile, he only has 1. And on top of that, he would need to have a Darkness Energy on whichever active Pokemon he chose instead of this Darkrai, so he could retreat it. So this was probably the lesser of 2 evils. Preferably no one should be in the situation where they have 1 Darkrai with energy on it and that's it. But that is actually something that happens probably not too often, but more often than a lot of people would like. He is about to play Ultra Ball there, but then he takes a moment to look at what it says and decides, I don't want to discard stuff from my hand to use that right now. And seeing what he has in his hand, that's probably something, for his strategy at least, that's probably the right decision. So he passes. I draw another energy, I attach to Oshawott, I put another Oshawott on the bench, And I could evolve the first Oshawott and Duat. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I probably... I don't know what I could have done. I could have attached to Samurott and retreated, but I decided to just leave Samurott there and go for the waterfall again. Flip through Confusion and go. And put 50 on Darkrai. So now he plays Hypnotoxic Laser. If he puts me to sleep, that'll get rid of my confusion. And he does put me to sleep. So that gets rid of my confusion. I'm no longer confused. I am asleep, but if I wake up, then my confusion is gone. It's one of those weird rulings. Like, if you have to rotate the card, then if you have to rotate the card a different way, then the new rotation overrules the old one. And if you get out of that, then you're free of all. That's a really horrible way of putting it. Let me put it this way. Sleep, confusion, and paralysis involve you rotating the cards so you remind yourself that you are one of those conditions. If one of the other two conditions comes into play, it supersedes the other one, completely getting rid of it to make room for itself. In that case, I was confused, and now I am asleep. If I wake up from sleep, I'm no longer confused or asleep. But that being said, if you have to put an actual counter on to your Pokemon, then the counters do not act against the rotation. You could be asleep and burned and poisoned, and there's nothing you can do about it. Luckily, that means that the most conditions you can have on you is 3, but that would just be a horrible, horrible game. So it's his turn. He attached to Darkrai somehow. He played Bicycle to get his hand up to 4. That's what I was talking about earlier, where he got it correct. And here he was about to attack, but we had someone on the side who felt really bad for this guy and started telling him, no, there's more you can do. So he helped him out a little bit. He played the Dark Claw onto Darkrai and knocked out the Samurott, just enough to knock out the Samurott, even with the Giant Cape. So here I promote my Duat with energy on it, evolved into Samurott. The Samurott with Pike, I think. The one from Black and White base. Attach a Giant Cape to it. Now my HP on that thing, I think, is 150 or 60. It'll be impossible to knock out in one hit, let's just put it that way. I play Energy Search to get a Water Energy. Earlier in my turn, I evolved the other Oshawott into Duat. But I think he only runs 2 or 3 Samurott in his deck, so I don't think I'll be able to get another Samurott into play. So I think I'm all caught up now. I was falling a little behind there with my commentating. I apologize for that. I just love to commentate. So I attached the Water Energy to Duat because I know the Samurott cannot live for that long. I'm going to Pike for 30. Yep, that was 30. So he draws a random receiver. He is thinking about playing it, decides not to. He's going to attach a Dark Energy to Darkrai so he can start powering it up for later in case this one gets knocked out. But honestly, I think the Darkrai deck, this shows that the Darkrai deck is a tremendous deck. He just picked it up, probably didn't really know how it worked, and he's just killing his own deck with it. There are plenty of flaws in that logic. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying that, yeah, you can pick up Darkrai fairly easily, and it works really, really well. So after Laser and the Night Spear, he's able to knock out the other Samurott. I promote Duat and pass. I do not know why I didn't attack there. I had an energy on. That's the second time this game I passed without attacking when I could have. Oh, you know what? At the beginning of the game, it was my first turn, so I couldn't attack then. That's why I didn't attack. I'm so not used to the new rules. Don't worry, I won't make that mistake at all, but in a real championship. But I don't know why I didn't attack there. So this other fellow is helping him out, saying your Darkrai has a lot of damage on it, so how about you energy switch to the other Darkrai and try to get that one powered up for right now, because it's honestly very, very possible that he'll be able to do that. So he Ultra Balls for Sableye, and then uses Professor Juniper to draw a new hand to 7. It looks like there is a dark patch in there, so he's able to get that other Darkrai all powered up, which means he'll be able to retreat his current Darkrai for free, and into that fresh Darkrai with no damage on it. And that is peachy. So that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to promote that new Darkrai, or not the new Darkrai, but the powered up Darkrai. He knocks out Duat, and I think this entire game, well, maybe not. I have not been paying that much attention. I apologize. I am a bit tired right now. Put 30 on the Eevee for being on the bench. So I don't know. I think this entire game I may not have been putting the 30 on the bench for Night Spear, but I'm not sure. But at any rate, all I can do is Growl, which reduces attacks by 20, and he just does the exact same thing I did last game, just Night Spear for knockout. Good game. So, you know who you are. You're probably watching this. As you can see, I did put it on YouTube before Wednesday, so it's all here for you. I'm very glad that I got to play you, and I'm very glad that you picked up my Darkrai deck quickly. I don't believe that there were any cards in my in his deck that I think will ever be viable. Maybe if there's a good Samurott, then one of the Oshawotts will be good for early game to set up. I don't know. But anyway, so that right there is the card for Pokemon League. If you fill out rows, then you get if you fill out all 4 rows, then you get a play point. That's the easiest way to get play points these days. So that's, I think, it. Yep, that's it. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more.